You're listening to Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Hi there, this is Cece Shatz, and you're listening to Going Solo with Cece. This is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and I am so pleased to have you with me tonight. Those of you who don't know me, I am a coach, a mentor. I'm the Donier, if I'm saying it right, or whatever. I always say it wrong. But I am the person that helps you, moves you through relationship loss, divorce, into the transition of dating and relationships. And, you know, I've brought in a little bit more. I'm helping more people with the dating aspect of it, but mainly the inspirational part of it, because I think we all need to be inspired. So tonight I'm beginning a little bit of a series, and we're going to be talking weekly, I hope, with regards to drop your baggage. And the reason I feel this is so important is because even though as we're traveling through our lives, we pick up a great deal of baggage. We pick up stuff, you know, that maybe even went all the way back from when we were a child, you know, and traveled through into our relationships. And also the thing is that these items, or these problems that we have, that we experience, we carry them into the next relationship. Then if that relationship fails, because, you know, we talk a great deal about divorce, we then carry that into the next relationship. And so we have several elements within the drop your baggage, and the elements that, some of the ones that I kind of thought were important, and you might have those that you feel are equally as important, and of course you can share them with me. And if you would like to, you're more than welcome to give me a call. We do have a telephone line, so you can pick up in your cell phone and you can give me a call. It's at 727-238-8970. So that's our call-in line. If you want to give me a call, you're welcome to do that. But let's talk a little bit about guilt, hurt, no love, and fear. I've been asked many, many times, what is the biggest hindrance with regards to moving forward in our lives? And I think it's fear. So we're going to kind of save that one for last, because that one seems to really buckle us up, and we can't really move forward when we are so fearful of everything within our lives. And sometimes we don't realize that we are fearful. And that is really an eye-opener when you realize that something has happened to you in your past, which kind of triggers this and makes you feel a little bit fearful. The thing is, we had a show just recently, the boy and girl thing was on prior to this show, where we were talking about chemistry, what makes us tick, your body, you know, your DNA, how you're made up. And that is an element that I feel is so important as we move forward in life in general, because we have instincts, we have reasons that, unbeknownst to even us, why we react and we do the things that we do. Women tend to be more emotional than men, although I have met men that are very emotional. But men tend to be a little bit more analytical. Why do opposites attract to each other? Why do relationships fail and some are very successful? A lot of it can boil down to what baggage that you're carrying. And some baggage is good baggage and some baggage is negative baggage. And it's kind of the way you look at it. So what we're going to be doing in this series, we're going to be talking a little bit more about you and how you can be more in tune and in touch with yourself, because that's what growth is all about. It's not about me, and it's not about the person next door to you. It's about you, and how can you move forward in your life and be successful in all areas of your life, you know, all the elements with regards to yourself. And so that's what we want to be able to bring forward with you. I want to share with you a little bit about my life and some of the travels that I've had to experience. But what I'd like most of all is for you to share back to me and to embrace what we have together. Because what I have found is that the journey that we take, the one that we take together, is really the best road in which to travel. Because who wants to truly be all alone? Who wants to go solo? None of us truly do. But the fact is that when we are solo, we want to be able to be happy with where we're at. And the most important thing is we want to be able to live within the moment of where we're at and enjoy that moment each and every day to understand what it is. And so I'm so happy to be able to bring you these shows each and every week. And then we also have shows which are on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, which is the live streaming station. We have a lot of great shows on there, a lot of inspirational hosts that help us with all of those wonderful things. So let's get back to our topic, drop the baggage. So let's talk about some of the various things that could have happened to us. And I think we have to kind of bring it back to when we see a problem in our lives, something that we're experiencing over and over again, something within our soul, our being, our gut tells us, back off, this isn't good for us. There are many elements within that. So is it something that you're carrying with you, or is it fear of going forward? So those are the kind of questions that we want to start to begin to answer ask ourselves and get answers for. And so let's talk about some of those elements. And so as we're going back within our childhood and we're thinking about some of the experiences that we have, could any of those relate to any of the things that you're happening today? Any of those things develop you to who you are, to become the person you have become. But what is happening is that you're becoming another person. So whoever you are today is not who you're going to be tomorrow. And so these shows are going to be extremely valuable to you. So one thing I want to share with you is we're going to break these up in segments. So tonight, let's talk about the guilt that we have. We carry a burden, a tremendous burden throughout our lives about various different things. And so why should we carry that big bag? Because what happens when we have guilt is we carry like this little bag, and then it just grows because we feel guilty over this, we feel guilty over that, we feel, and I'm the biggest person about wanting to, I was just telling my friend the other day, of wanting to be able to be, number one, the best that I can be. And number two, I want to be able to give to others. And when I feel like I'm not doing enough, I feel guilty over that. For heaven's sakes, why is that a burden in which for me to bear? Why is that a burden in which for you to bear? And why are we bearing these burdens of guilt? The thing is I was talking, we had our little meetup with regards to, drop your baggage. And I hope that we can continue these, because I thought it was really a great meetup. It was just a couple people showed up, but we were able to really talk about some really heavy duty situations and subjects. And one thing I said to them is that, why do we think that we have to control our lives? Why can we not live our lives? Why do we feel we have to plan our futures when we cannot allow our futures to guide us? I mean, many times within my life, things have happened to me and I can't understand why, the rhyme or reason why this is happening. But what I do know is that it's supposed to happen. And so why am I feeling the guilt of trying to move something forward when it's not happening? Guilt is a burden that none of us should bear. And guilt is something that we really create ourselves. Most of the time, if you ask another party, they don't look at you that way. They're not feeling and wanting to put that guilt upon your shoulders. It's ours in which to bear. It's ours that we've come across and said that we want to carry this. Why? Why do we need to do that? And so what I'm asking you today is I want you to evaluate your life and realize that you don't need to feel guilty over anything. Really anything because most of the times our lives, we don't really have control over. A lot of things happen to us that we can't explain. And so when a relationship, and we're just looking at relationships now, when we're going through and moving through divorce or relationship loss, most of the time we can't control the other party. Even if we're looking at a death, we can't control the other person leaving us. But then we still have this burden in which we feel that we have to carry. And so tonight I want you to ask yourself, did you really have, any part? I mean, could you have done things differently? And if you did, just acknowledge the fact that you could have done something different and release the burden that you feel about not making whatever it was happen. So I think it's truly a heavy, heavy bag to carry. It's one that we don't want to carry into another relationship with us. So often we think as we're moving from divorce or relationship loss of whatever it is, whether it be dating or just divorce, that we need to just move quickly and smoothly right into dating, right into moving into something else, and my gosh, catch your breath a little bit. Start to understand yourself and know who you are and where you're coming from. It's just truly amazing how quickly we all think that we want to be able to move forward so quickly. We don't take stock of our emotional part that's so very important, that emotional baggage that we carry. And, that's where you come up with guilt. And so what I want to do is share with you some of the things that I feel that we need to kind of think about a little bit. And as part of the emotional baggage is our insecurities. And so as we're talking about guilt, we're also talking about our insecurities with regards to many things. We're talking about our insecurities with regards to ourselves, with regards to our life, our image, our self-image, our being able to be worthy to move forward and have something good happen to us. And so we need to take stock of what our insecurities are. And while we're doing that, what happens when we have this guilt and these insecurities that we're feeling, we start becoming paranoid. With this paranoia sets in, and we start feeling like, everything bad's going to happen to us, or they're talking about us, and this is why they're not wanting us, or when we out there and we are starting to date, well, no one's going to want us because we're from, our past and all of this. So all of this craziness starts happening, and we begin to not trust ourselves, begin to not trust other people. We start really opening ourselves up for, hurt and displeasure. So it's truly, it's truly upsetting. And, the other thing is that you happen, as you're moving forward, when you have this guilt, this insecurities, this paranoia, what happens is you start comparing all of your relationships to each other. And they're actually so unique. I mean, why should we think that your ex would be like the person you're potentially looking to date? Why would we think that your ex is going to, or the person that you're looking at, your potential new partner, if you are out there dating, are going to be anything like, your parents or your father or your mother? Why do we compare people to other people? Why can't we look at individuals at their uniqueness of who they are and treasure who they are and have the beauty of being able to open up and meet someone that's new, So we want to stop this comparing with each other and get rid of that baggage, get rid of it and start looking at things with fresh eyes. I think that would be so vital, so important to us, that we most certainly want to do that. So as I'm going down through my notes here, so I want to make sure I don't miss anything. When we're moving through, we start understanding signals that we have, why things aren't happening for us. And this baggage that we carry is stopping us. It's creating roadblocks in our lives. And so we want to be able to get a better feeling, a better understanding as to why we have this and why we why do we have these insecurities about ourselves? Why do we have this guilt about ourselves? Why do we carry this hurt with us? Because sometimes I wonder, when we're talking about hurt, sometimes I wonder, are we hurting ourselves simply because we're afraid of what the future might hold for us? Do we want to lock ourselves in, so we continue to feel that pain because we feel like we maybe deserve it, that we're not worthy? of being able to move forward. So these are the elements that I want to explore as we're talking about baggage. What I want you to do is I want you to grow from within and be the person who you're supposed to be, who the person that you're going to become. And it's so exciting. It's exciting for me as a coach, as a mentor, as someone that wants to inspire you. And I'm hoping that you will be with us each and every, time on these shows, these various shows that we have. Because if you just catch one little thing that moves you forward in your life, what a glorious event that is. What a glorious feeling that is for you to be able to move forward in your life. So that's what these shows are all about. I started these stations, and just if those of you that don't know my background, a good friend of mine, Connie Rose, who does terrific work with helping trafficking, children trafficking, women trafficking, women abuse, any kind of abuse. And she just is a survivor herself, and she's just amazing woman. But she had me on her show, and we talked a little bit about domestic violence within a relationship, because not only did I hear it a great deal within the divorce support group that I run here in the Tampa Bay area, but I've also experienced that myself. And so as we were talking about it and sharing, some experiences and really what we wanted for our listeners out there to feel secure, that they can be able to build a new life for themselves. I came off the show, and the owners of the show was so gracious. They offered the station, they offered me a show. And that's how Going Solo with Cece became. And it was on Life Improvement Radio, and they're still in existence, Life Improvement. And I love them dearly for all that they've given me and how they've helped me over the years. But the realization is that the baggage in which I carried, I had to shift. I had to shift to the other hand, because something new was happening to me. The doors were starting to open for me, and I wanted to walk through them. I didn't want to live any longer within the pain of relationship loss, within the pain of losing and losing again. And so I had to make up my mind and do a mental shift and say to myself, I want something better for myself. And so then is when I realized that I needed to grow within, and I needed to never stop growing and never allow anyone to hold me back from that. And so I now today encourage others to continue their path of self-development, because you can still have a wonderful relationship with someone and still keep developing, because guess what? That person, if they love you, they're going to love you even more as you continue to grow to be the person that you are. It's amazing to think what a wonderful human being you are. And so as we're shifting our mindset from relationship loss, thinking that we don't have anything in our life in which to live for, to moving forward to realizing that we have baggage that we have to start shifting. We have to start putting them into another case, another suitcase, a little lighter load. Why should we carry that burden with us, that guilt with us anymore? Why should we continue to hold ourselves back because we're afraid in which to move forward? Why don't we connect with those other people like us, other like-minded people, and connect with them so that we can be able to jointly share our situation and realize what a wonderful human beings that we are. And so that is what made the Going Solo with Cece show so successful. And then it blossomed there into, with the help of other wonderful people, into being able to have our own station, which is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. That is your station. You out there that are listening, it is yours. And it was developed for you so that you could be inspired to be the best person that you are. And so that you could live the best life that you want. I mean, take the baggage that you're carrying and put it in a smaller suitcase. If you need to carry it with you, put it in a backpack. But don't carry the whole luggage set. It's not your burden in which to bear. You don't have to do it. And so here we are tonight in this whole new facet now. We've stepped from radio into live TV right here on Facebook. Unbelievable. And where are we going next? I can't wait. I have no idea where we're going to go next and what we're going to do and how we're going to share with people. But what I know, going solo is you're never alone, because there is always someone there with you. There is always someone that has experienced what you've felt, that knows how you feel, and that can help you through to the next level. There's so much more we're going to be able to do together. So as we progress on this Drop Your Baggage, I hope that you'll take a minute to look at, how you're feeling, what you want to change in your life. And so some of the things that you can do, and I want to give you some steps to be able to take away with you, because I think it's so important that we do that. And the first thing is to be able to stop judging yourself, number one, and get a piece of paper and start listing down any of your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors that weigh you down. Grab a pen, a notebook, find yourself a quiet place, spend about 30, 40 minutes thinking and writing. Just write down whatever pops into your mind, whatever you're feeling, write this down. And then you can go back over and look on it. So when you take the time, I want you to write it down and put it away, okay? And then I want you to sleep on it. Any good idea, you want to sleep on it, right? You want to sleep on it overnight before making a final decision. So I want you to sleep on it. Then I want you to take that notebook out. After those things that you've written down, that you've listed down, that you've just jotted down without giving a whole lot of thought to, that you didn't want to judge, you just wanted to write it down. Then what I want you to do is I want you to reflect on each one of those and identify the source of the thought of the belief. Why am I feeling like that? Why did I write this down? Why am I feeling insecure about this? Be a little bit detailed about it. But I think if you find that this experience is difficult for you, then slow it down, bring it back a little bit. Because, Andrea, who I love so dearly, she says it's all in the baby steps. We take one step at a time. I always say you take one step forward and 2 steps back. But you keep moving forward, It's like a dance. It's like a waltz that you do. And you're doing it with yourself. So what the heck? Take your time. Life is going to be there for you. So what I'd like for you to do is travel back in time and think about, why do you have this belief in yourself? What thought was this? What brought this to you to think about this? Do you fear intimacy? Because maybe your partner cheated. Are you afraid of moving forward in a sexual fashion? Do you dread, the holidays? Do you recall, alcohol in your past? What kind of memories do you bring? But be real about it. So often we want to sugarcoat things. And I think right now, today, we need to dig deep within yourself. I mean, you're only going to be sharing this with yourself. So why not be truthful and honest with that? Absolutely. I think, too, that once you've reflected upon those things, you want to find at least one positive thing about this hurtful situation or this weight that you're feeling. I want you to find a positive aspect with regards to it. Because with everything that's difficult, with everything that's sad, with everything that is painful, there is always something positive if we stop and we look beneath that. So, go through that list. And if you want, just pick out 1 or 2 things on the list and start going through and doing that, reflecting upon it, figuring out where the source is, then thinking about a positive aspect to it. And then I want you to, create, a change in the negative thoughts that you have. Start thinking about, how could I look at this differently? So I'm thinking about the positive aspect of it now. And so I want to continue that mindset of positiveness. I want to be able to move forward. Because let me tell you, if you are going through your life in a negative fashion, if you are thinking things around you are negative and going in a horrible way, they will. And they'll just keep on, going down that road. I mean, it will go fast. It's like one of those, you've seen the big ball, and it starts with a small ball and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes down the hill. Well, that's what's going to happen to you if you are in that negative mindset. And I don't care what it's about. And I don't really care if you are deserving to be in that mindset. Because as long as you stay in that negative mindset, things will continue to be negative for you. So you must turn and be in the universe and open yourself up to very positive things. And you want to practice this mindset over and over and over again. And for many, many years, I created these positive sayings I used to put up. So that when I got up in the morning, I could see them. I would, before I went to bed at night, and I still do this, I thank the Lord for all the wonderful things that He's given me and allowed me to do. And I ask Him for His guidance to be able to help me through whatever the situation is. And so it makes that luggage that I'm carrying a little bit lighter, It's not so, wow, unbelievable. And so then I try to fill my mind, my heart, my spirit within positive stuff. I try to read. I try to surround myself with wonderful people. I try to step out of the box and look at things differently. I try to experience things that I've never experienced before. In fact, who would have thought that I would be here today talking to you on this type of venue? There's like no way. And what's funny is like a lot, and those that know me well know that I am somewhat shy, but I get myself out there because I know that I'm about to make a change in my life. And I know that when I talk to you and when I touch you and when I'm with you, I'm making a change for you. And so that drives me to do the most unthinkable things, like being on this show, I was on our local TVs for a while, and I thought I was going to faint every time I went on that. This seems to be a little bit better for me because I'm in my kitchen. This is my kitchen area, and I feel comfortable in my home. And but when I was in the studio with a great big camera that would peer down in my face and everything, I thought I was going to pass out. Just like the first time I did the radio. I remember I talked on there, and the lady said to me, she was doing the soundboard and everything, and which I later learned how to do that myself, which is kind of fun. And she said to me, "Are you going to pass out? Or do you need to go to a commercial?" But do something that's going to make you weak in the knees. Do something that's totally different, out of your box. But that's what it's all about. Well, I'm going to have to wrap up the show. I love being with you. We're trying to bring our shows into a half-an-hour segment because we've got a lot of exciting things happening, and I want to share those with you before I leave today. But I want to talk more about this drop this horrible baggage that you might have. But I also want you to feel enlightened, because I think that wouldn't it be great to be able to experience life in a whole different way? So as we move forward here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, we have been able to broaden ourselves out with Going Solo Network. We are on Powercast station now with Going Solo Network. We are on Speaker. We are on YouTube. We're out there on a lot of different venues. What's important to me is that you all out there get all of this wonderful information that our hosts are just willing to share with you. And as we move forward, we're going to open more doors for you and allow you to be able to do just more exciting things. But what's going to happen next week, I want to share with you, is we have Deidre Newman, who's going to be on at 7 o'clock. She's going to have her show, which is Rock My Beautiful Life. Gosh, can you imagine having your life, you know, beautified and rocking it at the same time? I think that's pretty cool. But she is an inspiration in herself, and just probably just one of the most touching, lovely people that that you'll ever meet. So I hope that you will tune into her show. Her show's at 7 o'clock. Then we move into the Boy and Girl thing, which is with my good friend Christopher Kit Smith, and we have a lot of fun, and we batter back and forth, but we are the best of friends, and we work together on Going Solo Network, bringing you really these great shows, and also we're going to have a new site up that's going to rock your world. So I'm really kind of excited about that. And then, of course, you're going to have my show here, which is Going Solo with Cece. But what I'm excited to tell you is that Bruce Starr is going to be following me next week. He is going to bring the Love Coach show right here on our WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Facebook page. It's going to be a live show. He has the most awesome guests. But even if he doesn't have a guest, I mean, I am just awed at some of the talks that he gives and his perspective on life and how he moves forward in a very positive way. How really the universe is attracted to those that want to be able to move forward. And he continuously gives and gives and gives and gives of his time and his energy to be able to enlighten people. So I'm excited about that show, not just from the standpoint of what we can bring to you, but doggone it, I can't wait to hear what he's got to say myself. So I'm excited for it. But I wanted to share this with you because not so much that you would know what we're doing here, but so that you would know that just like me, when I started out, I had a tremendous amount of baggage that I carried. I had a tremendous amount of anxiety that I would go through, a fear of what my life was going to be, how it was going to be different. I mean, am I going to be able to even move forward and exist? Am I going to be alone all my life? And now, as I'm going solo, I'm loving it. Would I like a partner in my life that I could share things with? Yeah, I do. But I want the right one. And I want one that's loving and kind and giving, and one that knows me for who I am, accepts me for who I am with no reservation whatsoever, but one who truly loves me first, you know, as I would love him. So I am very clear about what I want in my life. And so I think you need to get clear about what you want. And what will happen when you become clearer about who you are, what you want to experience, you're clearer on your energy that you're giving out, that you're receiving. When you're clear on a lot of these things, the baggage is so much lighter because you're focused on who you are in the center of your core, and you're willing to give that to other people. And that is a beautiful and amazing thing. So as we continue to share on this Drop Your Baggage, I hope that you will join me and others here on the station so that you can be as equally as enlightened as I am each and every week. So Godspeed. I love you very much, and I want to thank you for joining us here on Going Solo with Cece. I'll be back at you next week. So bye for now.